We're live on Dad with a Phone. Hey, thanks for joining me. I know I gave you short notice. I didn't give you a lot of notice on this video, but we also know that this will be a replay video. You guys, I've said it from the very beginning of releasing these videos that you can chop up content creators. You can chop up, you can make them your own. I don't even care. Mindy Lee's mother has entrusted me to release recordings and video of stuff that she recorded over 9-10 years ago. What you're going to hear now is because I'm kind of staying with the kind of this pattern of looking at stuff. I want you, we are going to hear from Psychic Lisa and her mother, as well as you're going to hear a recording at the house in which they say things kind of revolved around this area, this house. They actually are, I think, are going to get in the house. I haven't listened to the entire recording. A lot of the time, a lot of the things is I have dozens of audio recordings that I have to go through, and some of them I am paying attention to because some of them are very, very, very sensitive information. I have to be very careful around releasing them because there are still minors involved. There are still people that are alive. Mindy's daughter is alive. And so I'm trying to be respectful and sensitive, but I'm also trying to bring awareness to this case. And I'm trying to make as much noise as possible. And that's why, again, I know that most of the time, content creators on YouTube and Facebook, they get real stingy about their stuff. They get real stingy about people rebroadcasting or cutting up shows. I am giving all content creators permission. Let's make a difference in the Mindy Lee case. Let's not just talk with our words and have a few chats, but let's reopen a case that needs another look. It needs a second look. And I know it's been 10 years and people, there might not be an opportunity to bring justice in Mindy's case, but there is an opportunity for it to be reopened, re-looked into, with fresh eyes. There is going to be information that comes out that hasn't ever been talked about. There are going to be people that come forward that tell a story that hasn't ever been told. And the only way that happens is if we make some freaking noise. So share this video, share these recordings. For you guys that are in chat and watching, go share to your crime channels, go share to your Facebook groups, share it with your family, your friends, just to bring awareness in a case that still it needs answers. What's happening and what they've told us may be partially the truth. It may be portions of the truth, but there are people that have more information. There are people that have a better understanding of what happened in 2010, the day after Thanksgiving, with Mindy Lee. Mindy Lee went missing in Woodland Park in November of 2010, the day after Thanksgiving. She wasn't found until December 1st. 5 days later, she was found frozen on a football field at the Woodland Park High School. So many questions surrounding the mysterious death of Mindy Lee. And as you've already witnessed, if you've been watching these episodes, and I encourage you, if you're just coming in and this is the first one you're joining, you're missing out, because I released a video that Mindy Lee's mother takes from the actual place, from where it took place. She drives around just days after the story's being told in the location. So you can see actual video from 2009 or 2010, I'm sorry, right there. Then I release a conversation that she has with the actual detectives who found Mindy, the actual detectives investigating Mindy's case. You can hear how they talked to her. They did not know they were being recorded. Thank God for a one-party state, and thank God for a mother who had who was just beginning a journey. She has been on this journey for over 10 years trying to find answers, and she has sat on these recordings, on these discs. She's kept them safe. She's She's never before released them. And so what you're about to hear, this is the first time anyone's ever heard it in public. So if you're here live in the chat and you're engaging, then understand that you're engaging, and I'll throw some of your chats up on the screen and let you ask questions, and I may stop and answer questions that happen. But what you're listening to has never been listened to before. So you're actually engaging in the first time that this is going to come out to the public. So in a sense, you're a part of history if this thing gets reopened. All right. So share away, do what you got to do. We're going to play. I think the first one's about 15 minutes long. The second one is, let me see here. I got 2 recordings I'm going to play. One's 22 minutes long and one is about 15 minutes long. So listen, you got it. I've gone down the rabbit hole on this case. You've never gone down the rabbit hole like this, though. I promise you. We're showing you some new rabbit holes. You're being brought into some new rabbit holes. What? I like it. All right, I'm going to push play on this. We'll get this going. Thanks for watching. Make sure you share, hit like, subscribe, do all that stuff right now because you're about to get sucked in. Oh, that's not going to work. I didn't push audio. Stop sharing. Y'all would not have heard anything. Y'all would have been like, what? There ain't no recordings. Boom. We're going to play number 24 first.
The house here, and we're here with Lisa and her mom. And I'm just going to let this run. And then I'll show you the other house. It's around the corner where they said she jumped out of the driveway. But that came later, not in the beginning. This is the empty house that they said she jumped out of. She ran to this house by the white metal carport, ran out back there. He lost her there. This is an empty house. But they have a feeling that they had it in this house because the dog hit on the front door 10 times. And the police never broke in. Nothing. Yeah. Yeah. It is true story.
We were feeling, at least I was feeling true story.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I won't tell your friends. Yeah. And you're Leslie, right?
I still am.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. See, I remember that. I want to call her, but that's okay. I can call her whatever. Okay. I'll just leave her my friend. And I will be quiet in case you feel anything. And he opened up this house. It's empty. Okay. These are my girlfriends here. And this is Leslie. And this is Liz from mom. And this is Karen, Stephen, and Karen house. And thank you so much.
Yeah, we bought it back in October or September. And we're from New Hampshire. We want to retire here. So, but we want to fix it up.
Wow. This is, you know where they found her, right?
Yeah.
Out at, you can almost see.
Can I go ahead?
Oh, yeah. This is, I don't think she could run through here and scale this fence. She had locks.
Yeah, and there's locks everywhere.
Yeah, there's locks everywhere.
Other than things, yeah.
I will show you, can see the
You
shed.
can see it from. Yeah.
Oh, you can, go upstairs and she said you can see better.
Okay, then we just want to look
Okay.
at.
Okay. A lot of property here, and she wasn't athletic, so I don't know how possible she could
But
have
you know,
scaled.
from right around the other side of the driveway here, you just go around the outside of the fence and down.
But see, it's barbed wire.
Oh, it is?
It's all fenced in, the school
Okay.
property, but you still have to scale it without a mark on her feet.
Yeah, that's
And we
the way.
did these grounds, and there's big gullies
Mhm.
in the dark, no light, 10 o'clock. How could she run without a mark on the bottom of her feet? And
Absolutely
did you
not.
look that up? That what happened to Mindy Lee? That thing that they did?
Yep.
They showed the bottom of her feet. And now the corner. You know, I've gotten 3 different death certificates.
Really?
Yes.
What do they say? Yeah, I mean, I know that she died from exposure, right? Ultimately.
Exposure and nothing. She was not, and that's her beautiful teeth, and didn't have like skin like, like a mess person. And they believe it was 8 times the legal amount. They believe it was a hot shot that they just shot her up and killed her with. And so 2 children.
Yeah.
And we tried to figure that out. And see, we took pictures from like the back of your house, and there's all these gullies, all from not just your house, all of this, how she could have went here, but she still has to scale a chain link fence barefoot, because they found her barefoot. And the only thing was, it was 18 degrees the night this happened, and then it snowed Sunday night. They found her body. She went missing Friday night. Found her body Wednesday, December 1st, but she wasn't frostbitten. Her nose, her fingers, her hands. So they had her son. We really believe because it was huge when the big search was going to happen, because not only did my husband, my nephew, and everybody, and her boyfriend at that time search the access road, there was a lady that owns a Manitou Inn motel. Mm-hmm. And they were searching too, and that was Sunday afternoon, and they were right next to those barrels, just like my husband. Wow. And my daughter's body was not there. Right. So they believe her body was placed there, like to be found by this big search. But then when I talked to the coroner 2 weeks ago, before your husband called me on Sunday, it was weird because I was with the coroner, and he said, Vicky, you could die sitting in a chair right here, and then I could move you down the street, put you in a chair, and the blood, however, is going to settle the same way. Me as a coroner, I'll know that you're dead, but I don't know if you died here, if you're placed the same way. But they found footprints going to her body in the snow. So he said, I know they didn't dump her over the chain link fence because it's locked, because she would fall, however, because she's in a similar position, that they carried her and placed her there. So, the big house as you're coming up 24 on the right hand side has a big veranda.
Yeah.
We put a bid in for that when it was under foreclosure. It was over $1 million home, and we put in a bid for $330,000, and we got it. And Mindy and the kids were going to look, because it's 6,000 square foot home, and it had its own entrance downstairs, and we had put a bid in for it, and we won it. Then we went through a closing company. She messed up on the closing papers the night before. The money's supposed to be there to close the next day. She messed up the paperwork, so we didn't get the house till the next person got it, and I was in tears. So then we loved Woodland Park until now I can't come here. Right. But then we found another house like a week before this happened to Mindy, and they were out of state, and they were going to meet us here. A really neat condo, because we're getting older now. I'll be 60 soon. You know what I'm saying? And she thought, well, it's separate, but it's like a condo because there's like 10 of the houses, and it's like a little co-op, but not, real bad. And it's really beautiful with all the logs and everything. And then when this happened to Mindy, I said, because I couldn't be here all the time. Right. But you have a new house. And it was so strange because the people that had her, in their story, said that she jumped out and they had her, and she came here and then went by the side of that. Mm-hmm. And then he said he didn't want to follow her anymore because he didn't know the neighborhood. Something didn't click with me because he gave me directions how to get back here. You don't know how to get here. And I'm thinking, okay, it's night.
It's not easy to find.
Easy to get in. And he's going to go over a speed bump. You're going to make a right on mountain thing.
No
and
way.
Then you're going to go to Parkview. And I'm going, if it's nighttime, and he says he doesn't know the area and he didn't want to get shot.
Why were they up here?
I don't know.
Do you know the people she was with? Were they her friends?
Oh, the girl was. But the guy is no good. And she went to visit them Thanksgiving night. And I kept telling the police here, but they don't want all this. I hate to say this. It's like Barney Fife here. Okay? And I live in Manitou, so it's the same way. It's a small town. They don't have. And the chief of police is the same guy for all these years. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
20 years. And it's just really kind of, and Manitou, where I live, same thing, because it's a little bitty town. And so when I started thinking, I thought, picking streets and speed bump, he's got to know this
He
neighborhood.
knows.
And then I found that people on your cul-de-sac at 11:30, your other mountain across the street at the cul-de-sac on the left-hand side, he knows them. And then in the second report he gave, he said she jumped out of that driveway. But see, the dogs kept coming to this house 10 times. And then I couldn't figure out why the police wouldn't call them right then and there and say, you know, can we
need
go
to get in your house?
But they didn't. And after my daughter's dead and I got her buried, I get these police reports. You could see my writing. Well, why wouldn't they? I mean, that very night, Saturday night. And then I was thinking, he's a mover. Maybe he moved the people out.
Yeah, because she would have just moved. I mean, we bought it in September.
That'd be interesting to find out if they knew that. I can't
And
think
he's
of
a
their name.
mover.
Yoder, I think.
And she packed and they cleaned. So a lot of people said, well, maybe they got in touch with the new owners to ask them they needed any painting, any clean. And I know when I got my house, they hid a key outside for like workmen. And maybe there was a key, how they had access to it. Why would the dogs keep coming back to this front door? 10 times the dog came here. 10 times. My husband said the only other way they could have taken her clothes, because she had clothes, visiting them, and drug them around that house to get everybody off scent or something. We don't know. That's what my husband could think of. And goes, but why wouldn't the police
They
immediately
should have
call
wanted to come in here.
and check it out? But you said everything looks just exactly how it is.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing in the house, so it's
Is
hard
there
to,
a round oval bathtub up there?
There's a bathtub.
Is it oval?
They're in there now. They're in that.
Is it an oval, oversized one?
No, it's just a regular size tub.
Okay.
In the one off your bedroom.
It's
They
just
were
like-
looking in a closet though up in the bedroom. There's a walk-in closet and then there's some crawl space under.
They're looking in there?
Yeah,
You
they
did
were in
already?
there. Yeah.
I just can't figure out where they're going to have her. Unless those people are involved and they have her in that house. I don't know.
Have they been in that house? Have they done
The
anything?
police haven't really done anything. It's just insane.
It sounded like they just thought they believed the story from the get-go that she
And
got
these
jumped
people-
out of the car and
And these people have
froze to
records.
death.
And these people have records.
Yeah.
And they never came up. That's the odd part. When I went the next day to retrieve my daughter's car, they never came out of the basement to say, hey, let me get some clothes on. Let me show you the last place your daughter jumped out. I never heard from them again. And everybody said, that is odd. Why wouldn't they come out of the basement and they just pass the keys to her mother to give to us? And her car was up in Sherwood Forest and their house. What they're doing here, and they said they took my daughter to the hospital, and then the police went there. They had no record of my daughter. And, that was their first story. And so I'm like, this is just so crazy. It's not like her. So, and this meth, they say anybody would take, it's 880, it's 8 times the lethal amount to kill somebody. Even if she took it herself, she wouldn't be able to run because it would kill you. It's going to shut you down.
Right.
It's going to just shut you down. So that's just really crazy. So maybe they were looking to see maybe if there was any hair that was out of her extension.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's going to be a neat house. Are you kind of excited about it?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I don't love it. Steve likes it a lot more than I do.
But the views, look
The
at the
view.
view.
I know. The view is beautiful. I just
It'll all be okay.
I know. I know. Once we fix it up,
from here because you can't see quite so much.
I know.
I know.
Up there you can see the mountain good, but
Yeah.
from here you just.
You know, if you do a nice patio down here or something.
Well, that's why I said you a deck over there.
Well, you know what I would do, and a lot of people do that have them. There's a lot of times because we had a master suite up, we had a huge deck off of the master suite just to sit on where you can actually extend that more.
Yeah.
Your views will be astronomical
That'd be
at
kind of cool.
nighttime. And bring a set of
Walls out of
stairs
there.
come down. So if you're barbecuing and stuff, they bring the stairs kind of down
Right.
into the thing. It's cool.
Because this you can see the pictures of the place.
Yep. And they had one house over here we had looked at that they did a spiral thing from there down.
Oh, nice.
It was out of metal. It was cool.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Oh, there they are. I don't know. They probably just go outside. And now you have a lot to work, but it will give you a lot to think about and work on, right? We're looking at that.
What did I was in the cul-de-sac?
The house, yeah, that's
Whose are those?
his friend in a cul-de-sac.
Right. Was it the Ross one or the one next to it? The one to the left of the Ross one?
It's the last one on the left-hand side.
Okay. There's definitely something going on from here to here.
To here to here.
Yeah, but I just walked up to where I thought she came from. You walk with me. You see what
Okay.
you think.
All right.
Did you see the other bathroom?
No, there's another one up there.
Yeah, the downstairs.
Is there a bathroom in here?
There's 2 bathrooms.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know. I will show her. Okay. Hey. That psychic lady, did she ask you which house? She said, there's a house over here.
Yeah.
And
I
she
said-
said,
I said, well, it's either this one or this one.
no, it's in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not
up
it.
there.
Up there
We
on
walked
the
up. We
left-hand
walked up there.
And
yeah.
she said, she's coming from here to here.
Because she started running. She did.
She did?
Yeah. She goes, oh, huh? She went like that, huh? And she ran across that yard right there, right through this lady's yard, back here. And I was walking behind her.
She said, is it on the left-hand side? I said, yes, because there's something going on.
She said, is there another house in the forest, kind of? I said, well, and I walked her over here. I said, that's supposedly the boyfriend of the daughter or something over here, supposedly where she jumped out of the vehicle. She said, is there another house?
We'll take her up there. You will drive her up in our truck.
And I said, well, they live at a ways, but it's more sparse. It's not like a neighborhood like this.
The house is real fast.
Yeah.
Oh, she's very confused. She's in the water.
So that's the first recording, and I think there's another one. This other one seems to be from the next day, according to like the timestamp on it. So I'm not sure if let's just listen. I know it has a little bit more. We didn't what I hadn't listened to this, and she got out and said that she was with Psychic Lisa and different stuff, but she didn't stick around with Psychic Lisa. She let them go do their thing. This next recording, I think, again, has some sort of bearing. It could be, it's real relative to the close to the same time. It's 22 minutes long. I know the owners are there, but I think both the Psychic Lisa and her mother are there as well. We'll listen to it. We'll keep going. If you're just joining us, and you're listening to recordings that have never ever been listened to online before. This is the first time the public has ever heard these recordings. These recordings were taken over 10 years or about 9 years ago by Mindy Lee's mother. Mindy Lee's mother, although some of these recordings, people knew they were being recorded, in a lot of the recordings I've released, they didn't know. I released the pathologist recording last night. The police officer questions and stuff, they definitely didn't know they were being recorded. And so to really get a full grasp of this case, you need to go listen to everything that's coming out, as well as look into this case and see what they said was the official story. And then when you hear some of the things that happen both in these recordings as well as different things that have gone on with this case, you'll begin to understand more why it's important to reopen this. It's both important to reopen this case because Mindy Lee's family deserves answers, but something went down. And the way they tried to play this off, the way they tried to pass this off, is just not what happened. We believe that here in just a little bit, we may be getting the autopsy pictures. If Mindy's mother is allowed to pick those up, she's going to turn those over and get those so that we can take a look at these pictures and see the different stuff, the different stories. Does Mindy have scratches on her feet? Does she have scratches down her legs? How was she placed and at the scene and stuff? I do not believe this is a suicide. I do not believe this may be an overdose, but it was an overdose with willing participants, and there's other parties that need to be brought to justice. It may have been, but I believe it could have been something to cover up an overdose. It could have been to cover up some other crime. I believe there was motive in this murder. Mindy knew about another murder that she wanted to talk about, that she wanted to come forward and talk about, and her mother knew about that. We know that that was a real thing, that there's news articles about a young man being found on Gold Camp Road, wrapped up in a carpet and all of this stuff. And we've heard some of this via the psychic, and we know that some of this is out there, public knowledge. So these recordings, again, this is not every one of these recordings has been brought to me personally by Mindy's mother. She has not released these to the public, but what I'm doing right now is their release to the public. And I challenge, I employ content creators to pick up Mindy Lee's case and begin to talk about it. I'm giving you permission to cut these interviews up, make them your own, and share Mindy's story. This isn't about me trying to build subs or me trying to whatever. I run my PayPal at the bottom just because you're listening. And if you want to give because this is a listener supported podcast. If you want to give, you can give, but I don't do this to make money. I'm not doing this for clicks and views. I'm doing this because I live in Woodland Park. I believe something happened in Mindy's case that is shady, foul play, whatever you want to call it. And I don't believe the entire story has been brought forward. And we need to wake this case up. We need people looking at this case, sharing this case. Other content creators need to be making content about this case. The viewer needs to go out and share this in every Facebook group you're a part of. And we need to wake up this case. We need to reopen Mindy Lee's case. So I'm going to start these recordings. If you're just joining, these are never before released. These recordings have never been heard in public. And you're listening to them right here first on Dad with the Phone.
But the spring is all beautiful. There's a drug house up the street here?
That's what the police said.
Really?
A couple
Okay,
of
I
them.
hadn't heard about that, so
That's what the police said.
okay. That's not such good news.
And that's why I was telling her the Woodland Park police really isn't no different than Manitou, because we live in a small town. And I think at the time it was more than they could handle,
Yeah.
or something. Something's wrong there.
Yeah.
But the Texas 7 were here for a long time before they found them. That's where they found them, was here in Woodland Park.
Okay.
The Texas 7, all those murders.
I heard about that in this area, yeah.
Yeah, that's where they found them, here.
Great area then.
And so I said, right under the Woodland Park Police Department's nose,
We'll put we got stopped for speeding on the way up here.
get out.
Going by to school at 30 miles an hour, I got stopped for speeding.
Well, I just ran a stop sign at the school because they got two of them together, real close, and I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And
So between those stop signs, I got up to 30 and they stopped me for speeding.
isn't that crazy?
Right here? Yeah, right in front of the high school.
So what
I
got,
just got a warning though. Oh, good.
see, Detective Kenny told somebody that he had got in this house and searched this house. And I said, well, I don't know how. I can't figure it out. And then when I talked to Bobby and Stephen, I said, well, he said that he talked to Detective Kenny, but I don't know if he actually got in the house.
Yeah, I don't.
No, he couldn't have.
Unless he didn't tell me that he got in the house. After, never called me back to say he got in the house and that they found anything. So.
Yeah, just walk around. That's what most people do. But we do know there's a connection to that one house because he said that he didn't know anybody in this neighborhood, so that's why he couldn't finish chasing her. But he does know the people in the cul-de-sac.
And that was somebody that was in the car, or somebody else that was looking for her.
The guy that said the couple that had my daughter and said she jumped out of the car.
Okay, so he was in the car with
and then
Mindy.
he was chasing my daughter and said he chased her to this house. This is what I was told.
Okay.
And he described it. And I thought, how odd. And he said he didn't go any further because he didn't know the neighborhood and he didn't want to get shot. And then I'm thinking, when he gave the police directions at Loaf and Jug and me, he knew them like go over a speed bump, go to Mountain, whatever, Park, make a right, go to Park Peak or Peak Park Mountain, make another right, and he goes down. The house is on the right hand side. It's a brown house with a white carport, and it has travel trailers on one side. And we're looking, and I'm thinking, it's nighttime, there's no lights, and how would he know? And he said it's an empty house. I thought, well, how would you know? You could just be in bed at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I thought, how did he know it was empty? How did he know the speed bumps, turn right? If you don't know the neighborhood and you tell the police you stopped chasing her because you didn't want to get shot and don't know the neighborhood. And then we come to find out after a second interview he did with police.
Help move Mrs. Yoder out, right?
Could be.
That was something we'd heard.
Yeah.
That maybe he had helped
Mrs. Yoder move out of here.
move out of here.
I knew this house
But
was
then you
empty.
have to find that out. That's something detective work could do.
And then we come to find out he knows the people on
That
Mountain
street,
Peak, right there on the cul-de-sac, right
She
here
was trying to
Oh,
get
that's
away
okay.
from this area
Frantic.
without using
Trying to
the
get
road.
away.
from them.
And she came straight down thinking she could cut through the field and probably get away. But she didn't want to use the
I
road because they
think
were
she
going to
got
pick her up. I think she got caught probably here. She was hiding.
And then they
going
took her in
around.
another car somewhere. These
back of the
people
car
have
that had
feeling,
the
and they've never been in this area, but they actually drew pictures. It's,
Okay.
it's like,
Well, I could say, I mean, like, as far as I'm concerned, the house, she wasn't killed in the house. And there's like no strange energy there of hers.
okay.
So you can move in and not worry about
So
Thank you.
ghosts or being,
okay, she just came and told me. She came to this house. She did not die in it.
no, she wasn't.
They really believe that. But
Yeah.
Bobby finds the
It's
forensic.
not the tub I saw her.
It's not the
No,
tub.
That tub hasn't seen bleach in years either.
It wasn't. Yeah, no.
Hadn't seen anything.
She saw her in a tub.
A white
She had a vision
Okay.
of an oval
white
tub.
creamish oval tub.
That was her vision where they kept her before they dumped her.
I had she could have had the McDonald's in her stomach, but I feel that she'd been vomiting.
I don't know, but they said that those wrappers weren't hers. The police told me in the beginning. They said, "Oh, she ran down." I said, "Doesn't make sense.
You
You're
can't
telling
run
me
from here down to McDonald's.
McDonald's, and then you run back to die on a football field because they found 2 cheeseburger wrappers out there."
Trying to get away from something.
No, and plus you have high school kids. You do have high school kids, and they go to McDonald's. It was probably blowing around from high school kids.
But they didn't find McDonald's in her stomach.
Nope.
Did they find anything in her stomach?
I
I
have to
feel
ask
she vomited,
She
and her
might have.
stomach would have been pretty empty.
I can find out from the coroner.
Well, that doesn't solve anything, but I feel that she had vomited before.
But she didn't go here. But this was our only thing because the dog hit on this house
Yeah.
10 times.
And she tried to go, like you said, trying to get down to where the town is so she could get away from these people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just really crazy. But we appreciate you doing it because you know what? It gives me some closure that she wasn't here.
There's nothing crueler than experience.
I was thinking she called me too.
Well, you didn't know, so don't beat up on yourself.
You know, I should have got my car when she called me. Right
No. No, should have, would have, could have. It's her time. Start because it is. You couldn't have saved her, so don't start that thing.
Yeah, I know.
You're not.
But Lisa, I thank you so much, Steve, for this because it gives me closure. that she wasn't in here.
And plus the guys are getting to look around,
Yeah,
check things
Well,
out.
they absolutely feel it was not an accidental death either.
I know. They know it.
That's what he's
It's
saying.
8 times the lethal amount. And they said that they killed her because she wouldn't have even lived if she did it herself. That's on the autopsy report. It's 8 times the lethal
Cancer.
amount.
Methamphetamine or heroin?
Methamphetamine.
And what did they find inside of her?
The methamphetamine,
Oh,
8 times the lethal amount. And she didn't do that. She had beautiful teeth. You haven't seen her. I have her pictures. Gorgeous skin. She wasn't a drug addict, you know. But those people, the boyfriend of the girl is a drug dealer.
Oh, well, so she knew
Your daughter
she's.
knew this area well enough to try to get through, though. Well, how did she know this area?
I don't know. She's never been up here that I know of. She has a girlfriend that lives, but we haven't been here for 4 years. Andrea's dad lives on that main road coming in on the other side. And they went there that night because I told them that's the only person she knew up here. And they went there and she wasn't there. And that's Andrea.
Who went there?
Oh, the police went there.
Oh,
And they said no, she hadn't been there. Because we were trying to think, where would she run to if she jumped out of a vehicle? Well, that's the only person we know here. And this is the only person she knows.
She wasn't.
And she knew the girl.
She
Friends with
knew the girl.
in the car.
She was friends with the girl in the car, Kim.
But I feel there was another male.
See?
2 males.
Everybody's saying there's 2 males. And the coroner even believes that they care, because they didn't throw her over the chain link
No,
fence
what do you
because
think?
your body would, tumble.
How much did she weigh?
Oh, well, she gained 60 pounds and she had been unemployed and
Uh-huh.
depressed. And
Well,
she weighed 190.
Okay, so one person couldn't carry
No.
her
2 people would have a hard time
because
too.
she
Yeah.
would. Yeah,
Well,
She-
there might be 3.
She
I
gained,
that's a
I
three.
think Kim's
And Kim's
involved.
involved.
Yes.
We're feeling 3,
okay,
2
so
males and a female.
she went up to 190. She always weighed 130. She gained 60 pounds.
That happens.
And so if you're on meth, you're not going to be fat either. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's what's really crazy, because she gained weight. Because once she lost her job, like everybody else, couldn't find a job, single mom, she got depressed. I took her to for counseling, and they put her on Wellbutrin, which also makes you gain some of the antidepressants.
Yeah.
They make you gain weight.
Know what kind of cigarettes Kim and Shannon smoke?
No, but I know they smoke. My daughter doesn't smoke cigarettes. She wouldn't even let me smoke in her car. When I bought her car when she was 16, I wasn't allowed.
And they found a water bottle, a bunch of Marlboro Light cigarette butts in it, and then a Marlboro Light cigarette pack with a bunch of cigarette butts in it.
Where?
In the garbage can now.
Oh, that's yeah. I told
Do you-
him to look.
Are you guys?
No, but the previous owner was a smoker. First time we looked at the house, it's
Like
really.
cigarette-
They're gonna,
Yeah, but
they're gonna take
the
a look
previous
at
owner.
for the DNA, like
it. And a bottle of Glade too.
They still had stuff in here. So, and there was somebody staying here at the time because there was a mattress on the front bedroom on the floor.
Who was staying?
The previous owner had somebody that was watching the house. So there was a mattress on the floor. There was
Do you know the name of the person?
they were staying here. No, and we never saw them. We looked at the house 2 or 3
That'd
times.
be something to investigate. Who was babysitting the house?
earlier.
You could check with the previous owner.
Go around the corner, Mom.
Well, that's where she went to. She went there and she picked where Mindy really jumped out of that driveway, and she felt her there. She did her footsteps through the run here, right? And she said, but she did not die in this house. That she came here maybe to knock on a door, maybe
Right, get some
something,
help.
to get help to get away from those people. Because she told me something went very wrong, and my daughter made the phone call at 5:45 Friday night, and she said, "Mom, like I couldn't hear her." And then the girl grabbed the phone and said that she was sick and she was taking her to the hospital. And I never saw or heard from her again. And I should have jumped in my car right then and there and went to, but they didn't take her to the hospital. They lied. So we're going to take her up to the house where those people live, that area, because she drew a picture, and I told her, you drew the picture exact. She's never been here. She's from Denver. Never been in Woodland Park in her life.
Oh, this is the first time.
I met them, and she said she had, and I've never been around people in my life. I was always raised Catholic. And I don't discount the people. And she drew a picture. She had my daughter's car parked exactly where we found it up there. She drew the house and everything.
Well, now was it her car, your daughter's car they were in that night?
Nope.
Okay.
It was the
So she
mother
had gotten into the other car.
up there. And she said she could see her trying to fight them up there and was trying to get away to her own car. And they took this and put her in the other car. And she drew a picture. And I said, I'll drive you to Divide to show you the boys. And I said, you drew the house. And she's not like an artist, you know, like I said, she put the door exactly right, the window right. And she had my daughter's car parked where we went and retrieved it Saturday. And she had their cars parked. And she said my daughter was running in a figure 8. And she said, if I see the house, I know it exactly. And when she came here, she goes, this isn't it. It has, you know, she was here, but this isn't. She said it all starts.
Maybe it's the other one.
Yep. Yep. She went over there. And I never told her about that house. My husband said, that girl that's here to help you, she went right to that house. I said, that's crazy, Jay. Because I've never. But, you know, I'm not going to discount anything.
No, I wouldn't. You can't. You can't.
And she went right to it. And Jay told me, my husband said, you were talking to Karen now.
We are waking some folks up. That is, I just got off a very cool phone call. I didn't broadcast it live. I thought about interrupting the live and broadcasting it, but we are working on some very interesting things around some stuff that has been said. We've got somebody that's in contact with a body farm. And when they heard what we have played so far, what the medical examiners have played so far, they are very, very interested in looking into this Mindy Lee case, because some of the information that's being shared is contradictory to what they know to be true as they study bodies and as they study frozen bodies. And so we're going to be in contact hopefully here sometime today, maybe tomorrow. We'll be in contact more with these people. We're going to say, I told them, I was like, I'm on a live playing another video right now. And they're like, oh, and so they're going to go back through these tapes and listen to the medical examiner and listen to the police and listen to what they have been saying. And then they have some very interesting input when it comes to bodies being frozen outdoors. How that long that takes, what consists of that. And then they have some concerns about some different things that have been brought up in their, in this case already. So, hey, making noise. We got to make noise. When we get some people that are doing this, like a body farm that's going to say, listen, what they're telling you is bullcrap, or what they're saying is not legit, or they're going to contradict one of this pathologist or these cops. This is how we wake people up. This is how we begin to make noise. And so they were actually contacting to make sure that everything that I put up, they had the permission to pull this and let their colleagues listen to and go over it. And so I'm pretty excited about that phone call that I just received. And we're going to continue to listen to this. Again, these are never before recordings that have been released by Mindy Lee's mother. She gave me copies and gave me permission to release these, but these have never been released to the public. This time, this recording right here, it's the first time anyone's ever heard it, and so publicly. And so there you go. You're watching on Dad with the Phone. Content creators, get after it. Get on this case. Be a part of it. Chop these things up. Make them your own. Begin to share Mindy Lee's case. We can reopen this and make a difference in this case. It hasn't been too long. It hasn't been. There are people out there that know something. There are people out there that can come forward and share what they know, and we could have this case reopened. We're going to keep listening to these recordings. Thanks for joining Dad with the Phone today.
And she went right to that house. She left here and went right there to that house. I don't know who these people are. Oh, he might just be asking them questions to see if they heard him. No, Bobby's in here. Do you know that Lisa? She left while you guys were all in there, and she went right to that other house.
She did.
Yep. And she said Mindy was here. She did not die here. She doesn't feel she died here. This isn't where she died. And she went. She said it all started right, but it started up in Sherwood Forest. We're going to take her up there. And she drew the picture. But Jay said, you know that one young girl, she left while everybody was here, and she followed. She was talking to somebody. She crossed right over. She went in the cul-de-sac and went right to that house.
That's what Lisa says.
Yes.
The psychic.
Mhm.
Okay.
She went to that house. Okay. And I'll thank them all. Are you done?
I believe so.
But she'll tell you what. And that Lisa, she left while you were doing this. Jay told me she left. She was like talking. She left. She crossed over, went right to that other house.
Oh.
Yep. And she'll tell you what she said. Mindy was here. She did not die here. She was not here for
I believe that. I don't feel
no,
it.
no,
at
she
all.
said she wasn't. But she was really running away from that house. And she said I'm going to take her to that house in Sherwood Forest, the one she drew. I'm going to thank them. I think they're done, and I thank you. God bless you both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So sorry to hear about
Okay.
Mindy.
Really, thank you, and I'll keep in touch,
Okay.
both of you,
Let us know what goes on.
and I'll let you know what goes on. But they they really do feel that
She didn't get in.
not here, and the psychic lady. And the psychic lady said this house that is moved in, Mindy did not die here. And she went to that other house and we never told her. She left when we were all talking. And she went right to that other house and called us.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you so much. What?
All about that. I was worried about a barn truck.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I came across them. That's what I was coming across.
Yeah. Sorry. You didn't hear anything that night, did you?
I was out of town. I was in
Oh,
Amsterdam actually when all that
okay.
happened.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about all that.
He was worried.
I overreacted.
Okay.
I hope. Yeah, I
Okay.
apologize.
Okay. Fine. He wanted us to move all of our cars. That guy. He said he saw the bond truck and he goes, "You guys need to move all your vehicles." That's what he told Robin. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? That guy came up to Robin and said, "You guys need to move all these vehicles out of here." I saw a bond truck. I'm getting ready to pick up my son, and I don't want him to see a bond truck up here. And
what truck?
A bail bond truck. And Robbie said, nothing's going to happen. Nobody's getting kicked indoors.
A bail bond truck. Oh, my truck?
And so he's calmed down now. He said, he goes, "Well, I wasn't here when it happened. I was in Amsterdam." He goes, "I didn't know what was going on when I saw this. I don't want my son seeing doors being kicked in."
Nobody's
Those are the ones that remember I told you peeking out the window at me.
That's them,
That's the house right there.
right there.
Yep.
They were looking at you.
They were on the phone looking at the window.
I'm sure they're
Just got back from Amsterdam. He's probably got a load of dope in the garage.
scared to
Okay.
death that he's going to get busted.
So you, yeah,
Yeah,
because
he
you
doesn't
didn't
know he
find
was in
anything, so
Amsterdam.
she wasn't in there.
Yeah, but he
You don't
doesn't know
think?
what.
Oh, I
what
don't know
you're talking
about that.
But she didn't die there. You don't
You
know.
know, all of a sudden,
I
I
don't
wasn't
know
here.
about that.
You don't know anything about that. Okay.
I haven't got enough information to
Yeah.
really decide whether
Oh.
or not she was in there or not.
But there's cigarette butts in there. She never smoked, so those wouldn't be hers.
Right.
What kind of smoke did Shannon and
But
They
somebody
both
that
smoked.
was watching her or killing time or something, somebody was sure. And the only thing that would go to
to somebody's mind that, like ours, is that that would put their cigarettes into their uh, cigarette box like that, is that they probably intended to take them with them. You know, anybody else would put them on the floor or whatever, but they had carefully put them in a cigarette
Put them in the cigarette holder. And those are
Well, I'm gonna
to
let
make sure that they were going
Lisa
to.
explain that she's gonna notice that she jumped out over here. She was hiding. She didn't go down this road because she knew they would catch her. She cut right how you saw her go over the hill.
ran, right?
Because she left the house. She went and went over the hill. She went right to the house, and Nicole was
I'll
there.
be down.
And Lisa. Oh, this is.
I'm sorry.
And this is Leslie.
Hi,
And,
Leslie. I'm Steve. Glad to meet you.
and yeah, thank you. And so she felt her over there at that house. And we never.
I'm going to go out on a limb right now.
Okay.
And because we've all been on this assumption that she kicked off her shoes and took off and went running down through there.
What kind of shoes were they?
Tennis shoes.
And ran to where
they found her.
Right. I don't believe for 1 second that she kicked off her shoes here and ran through there for one. Number one, she ended up down there because she was put there. She did not run.
I don't think she had her shoes in.
No.
I think she got hurt before she had her shoes in. I think they were. She's not. If she was here, she's a pit stop. What do we do with her now?
They said it was a pit stop.
Probably because it was muddy or snowing, and they're afraid that the shoes would show where she was.
I think that's accurate. And that's why they
got rid of
subterfuged
the
the shoes, gave her the shoes that
Because I
didn't
picked up
belong
on
to her.
blue shoes, and you said no, or blue sandals, or sandals
Yeah.
of blue, and there's no blue.
Yeah, but she did. They were in her car, in Mindy's car, up there. But the white shoes they gave me and the
Those
police,
weren't hers.
she said they're not
Did
hers.
they fit her?
I don't know.
Well, that would be something to find out the shoe size. I mean, if it's a half size off, they probably weren't even hurt.
They weren't.
They weren't hers. She said they belonged to Kim's daughter. That's what you said. Those white tennis shoes
Well,
belong
I
to
don't
Kim's
think they're
daughter.
hers.
I would say they
Along with the wallet.
And there were 2 men and 1 woman.
I would say they were definitely. Those were too big for kids.
Can I get contact number for both of you?
I'm 720
Okay.
870
And it's Lisa.
700. Like the color, and that's
I knew that she jumped
And that's
from
Lisa.
over there, but they didn't tell us that. Okay, that had to come later.
No,
And he knows.
see her.
But he said too, he needs to get the old owner.
720. Yeah.
They never even asked.
Okay, did you get that on camera?
Robbie did, I think.
Okay, I did too. Let me stop it. Stop.
Boom. Check this microphone. Man, that was crazy. That was unexpected to hear Bobby Brown walk up during that recording. So what you just listened to is actually a group of people out in the neighborhood where they say Mindy took off, where they say she jumped out of the car. You heard Bobby Brown say it himself. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't believe it, right? That's what he said. I have got lots and lots of recordings to go through. We're gonna share more stuff, but I'm gonna keep this episode at an hour. I've had some new information come in via people giving me a call. It looks like we're gonna have an opportunity to talk to some people that run a body farm that's gonna talk to us about frozen bodies, talk to us about some of the things that these people have said on these recordings. Now, understanding that like this recording here is 9 years old. Now, the people listening may have known they were being recorded, or they may not have known they were being recorded. Vicky recorded a lot of people without them knowing. That is completely legal in the state of Colorado. I want to put that in there, that this is a one-party state. Only one party has to know they're being recorded. What makes these recordings unique is they've never been released to the public. And Dad with the Phone has had the opportunity. I got the opportunity to release them to you. But what I'm telling you is share, cut up, chop up, send to your favorite content creator, tell them to get after it. We want to bring as much attention to Mindy Lee's case as we can. We are already grabbing national attention out there. There are people that are reaching out to me about these recordings and will continue to reach out to me. Like I said, we have dozens more of recordings. I haven't even played when the coroner came to her house. I haven't even played. I got so many. I got recording after recording. If I went back to back to back, I'd run out of time. If you want to support Dad with the Phone, you can give directly to the link that is scrolling right here in the bottom of the page. That goes straight to my PayPal. All that does is motivate me to do more. You're not paying my bills. You're not paying for my kids' college. You're simply motivating me to do more. I'm going to do this anyway. It just is like when somebody gives me $1, I'm like, damn, I got to do more because they're paying for it now. What else? If you want to follow and stay up with the latest, this is going to be the latest. Now, people, I hope, take this, cut it up, share it, and continue to do a bunch of stuff about it. But this is going to be, you're going to get the latest info about Mindy Lee's case right here. You're going to hear it first on Dad with the Phone. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, not for me, but because you don't want to miss it. You want to be a part of history too. And what you just heard was the very first time these recordings have been released. Make sure to go watch. This is episode 5. So if you're just joining, there's actually like 2 episode 2s, 3, 4. This is episode 5. So there's already 5 videos out there with recordings on them that you need to go listen to. So go check those out. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching Dad with the Phone. Tonight on Dad with the Phone, celebrity dog trainer. I can't be talking about murder no more. I got to talk with one of my old buddies. So join the podcast tonight if you got a dog and you love dogs.